Hello friends, welcome to our new session on control engineering for undergraduates of 7th semester mechanical engineering. Let's begin our session. Let's begin a problem on analogous system. So in this problem we are supposed to obtain the differential equation for the mechanical system shown in the figure and draw the equivalent mechanical system and also draw the analogous electrical network based on FV and FY analogies or force voltage and force current. Let's begin. The diagram which is given for the mechanical system is as shown in the figure. Here we are having two masses M1 and M2 and there is a reference, and for the mass 1 we are having the input force F of t and displacement x1, and for mass 2 we are having the displacement x2. Together they will cause the change in displacement, and we are having damper B1 between mass 1 and mass 2 and spring between K1 between mass 1 and mass 2, and between mass 2 and the reference we are having the damper B2, and between mass 2 and reference we are having the spring K2. We need to draw the network analogy diagram for the given mechanical system. Let's draw it. First we'll identify the x1 and x2 as the nodes. So we will draw here x1 and x2 nodes. So we'll write this one as x1, this one as x2, and x1 node is having elements M1, B1, K1, and x1 node is having an input F of t. So it is having an input F of t, so we'll give the input here. So input, and it is coming from the reference, that is from the source. So this is our source. Okay, between the first mass displacement and the reference we are having the mass 1. So this is mass 1. Here we are having the mass 1, and between displacement x1 and x2 we are having the common elements B1 and K1. Both are in parallel, so it will be here. This is damper B1. This is a spring element. This one will write it as B1, and this one will write it as K1, and here also will connect. Between reference and displacement x2 we are having the mass M2 and B2, damper element B2, and a spring element K2. So this one will be, all three elements are parallel, so it is having the same displacement, so it will be here M2. Here connected we are having B2, and here connected we are having the next element K2. So this is how we are going to interpret it and draw the network diagram. So to make you understand still proper neatly how you have to draw, here we are having the diagram. So this is how we are having the force input F1. So to avoid overlapping, I will erase this one. So here you can see the X1 node, X2 node. From X1 displacement we are having the mass 1. The input for this one will be from the source F, okay, and it will reach at the node X1, and from node X1 the energy is going to dissipate through the mass M, through the B1 and through K1, and from X2 it is going to dissipate through M2, K2 and B2. This is how it is going to dissipate, and from here it is going to dissipate from X2 also, this direction and in this direction. So this will be net displacement which is occurring between X1 and X2. This is how the energy is going to be dissipated. So this is what is the network mechanical, this is what is the equivalent mechanical network system, the first step. Next we need to write the equilibrium equation at each node. First we'll write it for the node 1. So for this node x1 of t we'll write the equation. So input for this one is f of s, so it will be f of t, that is f of t, and this is input from this node. Whatever is coming out here is m1 d square x1 divided by dt square. Then from this part it is coming out is the net displacement, that is b1 into dx1 by dt minus dx2 by dt from this one. And next we are having the next element, this is over. Next element we are having k1, that is k1 into x1 of t minus x2 of t. So this is the next element. So this is the third element. So we are only bothered about the first node part. This is x1 part. So only we are considering the x1 part, and here we are going to do it for only analysis for this half part. So that is left part of this one. We are not worried about the next half part. Okay. This is equation 1. Next we have to next I have to do the analysis at the node 2, that is at x2 node. For x2 node we have to do. So here the net energy will be equal to 0. So only we have a 0 here. So 0 input. Output from this one will be through this M2, okay, through K2 and through B2. And next from here it will be for K1 outside and B1 outside. We are going to analyze on the right half of this part. So here it is m2 d square x2 divided by dt square for m2. Next we are having b2 into dx2 divided by dt. Next we are having k2 into x2 of t. These three elements are over. Next we are having the common element, that is b1 dx2. Remember from here to here, so it is dx2 by dt minus dx1 by dt. Okay. Next we are having the next element k1 x2 of t. Remember x2 of t minus x1 of t. So x2 of t minus x1 of t dx2 by dt minus dx1 by dt. So this is equation number 2. This is equation number 2. Second equation. The previous one is the first equation, that is differential equation considering at node x1. This is differential equation considering at node x2. Next we have to apply the Laplace transform on both sides of the governing equation. We get f of s equal to m1 s square x1 of s plus b1 s into x1 of s minus s into x2 of s plus k1 x1 of s minus k2 of s. That is for equation 1. This is at node 1. Similarly at node 2, here you can see here it is available for us. So m2 s square x2 of s for this one, then b2 s into x2 of s plus k2 into x2 of s and b1 s into x2 of s minus s into capital X1 of s for this, then k1 x2 of s minus x1 of s. So we are having equation 3. This is equation 3, that is a Laplace transform of equation 1, and this is equation number 4 for a Laplace transform of equation number 2. Using these two equation, that is equation 3 and equation 4, that is the Laplace transform equations, we are going to now create the FV and FI analogies. Next step 4. Now we are going to go for the important, that is FV analogy. So in the FV analogy, what we do, in the equation 3 and 4, wherever we add F, we are going to replace it by V, M is replaced by inductance L, B is replaced by a resistance R, and K is replaced by 1 by C, the inverse of capacitance, and small x is replaced by a small q, and if we have capital X is replaced by capital Q, capital X is replaced by capital Q. Okay, let's see. So we had the equation number 3. So it is, we are borrowing that equation number 3 here again to recall us. So what we are having, f of s is equal to m1 s square x1 of s plus b1 s x1 of s minus s x2 of s plus k1 bracket x1 of s minus x2 of s. Here f is replaced by v, m is replaced by l, and x1 of s is replaced by q of s. Okay, and b1 is replaced by r, and k1 is replaced by 1 by c. Let's see how it will. So f replaced by v, m replaced by l1, s square remains there, x1 of s is replaced by q1 of s, and b1 is replaced by r1, and s into x1 of s is replaced by s into q1 of s. Similarly, s into x2 of s, s into q2 of s, k1 is replaced by 1 divided by c1. So x1 of s, x2 of s replaced as q1 of s and minus q2 of s. This is for equation number 3. So we get here equation 3a. So this is 3. Next, on the equation number 4, we have this equation. So here also we have to do the same thing. So wherever we are having m, we are going to replace it by l. Here we don't have f, so it will be 0. B is replaced by r, c is replaced by 1 by c, k is replaced by 1 by c, and x is replaced by q. So what we get? So we get this below equation, L2 s square q2 of s R2 S Q2 of S 1 by C2 Q2 of S plus 1 by C Q2 of S minus Q1 of S, and R1 S into Q2 of S minus S into Q1 of S. So this is equation 4a. Next, these are in Q term. These are all in Q of S, that is charge. We require the analogy to be in current. So it has to be converted into current. So we know that Q is equal to I by S, or I of S is equal to S into Q of S. So replace wherever I of S is there, wherever S into Q of S is there, replace it by I of S, or if just Q of S is there, replace it by I of S divided by S. So where we are going to do this one? So here we are having S square into Q of S, that is S into Q of S. So it will be replaced by S into I of S. So here S into Q1 of S is there, it will be replaced by I1 of S. S into Q2 of S, it will be replaced by I2 of S. Here just Q of S is there, Q of S will be replaced by I1 of S by S. Q2 of S will be replaced by I2 of S by S. Let's see how it will be. So here V of S will be V of S. Okay, then L into S square Q1 of S is been replaced by, here L1 is there itself only, S square Q1 of S is replaced by S into I1 of S. R is there itself only, S into Q1 of S is replaced by I1 of S. S into Q2 of S is replaced by I2 of S. Now here Q1 of S is there, that will be replaced by I1 of S by S. Here Q2 is replaced by I2 of S by S. So S is common, so it is taken out, here it is brought, and we get I1 of S minus I2 of S. Means we are writing voltage in form of current, V into R form. V is equal to I into R form. So in this form we are writing. Okay. Next, similarly we have to do it for this below equation. So what we get? We get 0 equal to L2 S into I2 of S. This is S into Q2 of S, that will be replaced by S into I2 of S. Then R2 S into Q2 of S. This is R2 I2 of S. Then here Q2 of S will be replaced by I2 of S by S. So that is S is taken out. So what will remain? 1 divided by S into C2 I2 of S. Here also Q2 is there and Q1 is there. Those are replaced by I2 of S and I1 of S by S. So S will be taken out. 1 divided by C1 I2 of S minus I1 of S. Here R1 is R1. S into Q2 of S is written as I2 of S minus I1 of S. Next, using this equation and the below equation, that is equation 5 and 6, we have to draw the electrical network or the loop diagram, or if we loop circuit we call it as. So how to do this one? We are going to write the loop circuit. In a FV analogy, we are going to write the loop network or a loop circuit diagram. How to start? So V of S, so we'll start it here. So this is V. So this will start from the diagram for a FV analogy. Now I will tell you how to draw the loop diagram or the electrical circuit diagram for this equation. First, you have to identify the source, V source. So voltage source, identify this one. Write it in a circle V. Then we are having the inductance, that is inductance, and resistance and 1 by C capacitance. All the three elements are in series. All the three elements are in series, but the net current flowing through resistance and the capacitance is I1 minus I2. So those has to be kept in common. So how we are going? This is in series. How we write? We take the first like this. This is a coil. Then we go here and we keep it in between loop, that is parallel. The first one is the resistance. So this is resistance. Okay. Then we are having the capacitance in between. Then we complete the loop. So sign notation, this is minus, this is plus, this is plus, this is minus, this is plus, inside we'll write, this is minus, this is plus, this is minus, and here we are having L1, so we'll write it as L1. Here we are having resistance, so this is resistance R1, we write it as R1. Here we are having capacitance, we write it as capacitance C1. The current flowing through this one is current I1 loop, so it is positive to negative. So this one we write it in a clockwise direction like this, and we write it as I1. This is the first loop. So this is loop 1 for this equation. Now there is a current I2 which is flowing through this one, so it will be in the opposite direction. So it will be flowing from the other side like this. It will be passing through this one, and the net current which is flowing through this one will be I2. So it will be going from this part. So net current I1 from here I2, the difference of the current will be flowing through this resistor. Next we have to do it for the sixth equation, the below equation. The equation we are going to start from L2. How we are going to start from here? L2, R2 and I2, all these elements are in series. Okay, and capacitance 1 and R1 are going to be in common between these two loops I1 and I2. How to start? From here, point 1. From here we are going to start. So this one will be the coil. So this is L2. Next we are having R2. So this is in series. So this is the resistance. Next we are having C2, capacitance. So this one will be capacitance C2. And next we are having the common element, which is from here C1 and R1. So this is common element. So we will write this one, this here as R2, and this one we write it as C2. And here the sign notation will be plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Here it will be plus, minus, here plus and minus. So L2 into I2, R2 into I2, 1 by C2 into I2. Here it will be 1 by C1 I2 minus I1. Here it will be R1 I2 minus I1. So this is what we are going to get. The second, to see it in a neat manner, you can go with this diagram. This diagram will make you understand better. So how we started? V of S from the source minus to plus, L1, R1, C1 which are in series, so these are connected in series. Then we are having L2, R2, C2, C1 and R1, which are again in series common. So here we will get this particular equation. Hope this was going to be quite clear for you to understand how to draw the loop network for the FV analogy. This is very important. Let's continue the problem. Step 5. Writing the equilibrium equation. Now in a FY analogy, here the force is replaced by current I, M is replaced by capacitance, damper B is replaced by resistance, and the spring K is replaced by inverse of a capacitance, and X is replaced by the flux phi. So we have the earlier equation, f of s equal to m1 s square x1 of s plus b1 bracket s1 x1 of s s x2 of s plus k1 bracket x1 of s minus x2 of s. Here f is replaced by I, m1 is replaced by c1, and here x1 is replaced by phi of s. x1 is replaced by phi of s. Similarly, b1 is replaced by 1 by r1 and k1 is replaced by 1 by c1. Let's see that one. So here you can see f is replaced by I1 of s, m1 is replaced by c1, and s square is s square, x1 of s is replaced by phi 1 of s. Similarly, p1 is replaced by 1 by r1, and s1 x1 of s is replaced by s into phi of 1 of s. Similarly, here you can see s x2 of s replaced by s into phi 2 of s, and k1 is replaced by 1 by c1, and x1 of s replaced by phi 1 of s, x2 of s replaced by phi 2 of s. So this is for the first node, x1 of node. Similarly, we are going it for the x2 node. We have this equation, that is differential equation. For this, we should write the force current analogy. So what it will be? 0 will be 0, m2 will be replaced by c2, and here s square x2 of s will be replaced by s square phi 2 of s. On the same ground, we can see here the replacement happening. Okay. This is quite clear, I think. Next, the replacement is, we require it to be replaced, phi flux has to be replaced in terms of voltage or EMF. So wherever we are having s into phi of s, we are going to replace it by v of s, and where we are having phi of s, we replace it by v of s divided by s. So what we are going to get? So I of s, so c1 s square phi of s is replaced by s into v1 of s, and 1 by r1 will be 1 by r1, s into phi of s, v of s, minus s into phi 2 of s is v2 of s. Here 1 by c1 is there, phi of s is there, so phi of s is replaced by v of s divided by s. So here also v2 of s divided by s, s common, so it will be 1 divided by s into L1 bracket v1 of s minus v2 of s. This is for this equation. This is for related to this equation after replacement. Next we have to do it for the next equation, for the second equation here. This is for second equation we have to do. So what we will get? We get here the equation as follows. So this is the second equation, or related to second equation, replacing s phi s equal to v of s. This is what we are going to get. After getting this equation, we are supposed to write the node network diagram, or force current analogy network diagram. So how we are going to write it? So it will be as follows. So first we are going to go for this particular diagram. This is similar to the previous diagram. The elements which are here will be in parallel. So that is what we are going to see here. So in the previous case it was in the series. Here it will be parallel. Source here will be the current. So first identify the current source, and next we are having two nodes V1 and V2. Okay, from V1 we are having this particular point. Identify the first V1 point. Okay, and first to draw this circle. Okay, and in that write I1 of S, and from point here draw the input source at V1. This is completed. Then first one, so C1 S into V1 of S. So from this part to the reference we are going to draw a line, and then we write it as C1 and ground it. So this is grounded. This is grounded. Then we are having the resistance. So resistance is common between V1 and V2, and the inductance is common between V1 and V2. So at another end we draw a V2, and both are in parallel. So here first we will be drawing the resistance. This is the resistance, and next parallel to this one we are going to draw the, like this, we are going to draw the inductance and move from positive to negative, and join it here. So notation for this one is L1 and this one is R1. Okay, equivalent here is 1 by K and 1 by V. Next, after finishing this one, we go to the second, that is the bottom equation, this one. For this, the source at this node will be 0. The input here will be 0. But here what we are having, C2 and 1 by R2 and 1 by L2, these are in a parallel. So first from here we are going to draw one line, that is from here we draw C2, 1 by C2. Then we are having the next element, that is inductance, so that is L2. Okay, next we are having the another element, we can write it in any manner. Okay, that is 1 by R2, so this is resistance. All the three elements, that is C2, 1 by R2 and 1 by L2, all are going to be parallel. So it moves from notation, sign notation, plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. C2 is L2 is equivalent to 1 by K, and we are having B equal R2 equivalent to 1 by V2. Okay, now next what we are to do is we are going 1 by V2. This is how we are going to have this one. So voltage will be flowing from higher potential to low potential, from higher potential to the low potential. This is how we are going to draw the nodal network diagram, or a node network diagram when a current is a source. To give a small hint, so how this diagram can be, whatever the mechanical equivalent diagram we had, that will be the base for this one. Wherever we add x1, we can replace it by v1, x2 we can replace it by v2, and where we add f, we can replace it by r, and m where we add, there we can replace it by c, and m2, c2, and k2 will be replaced by l2, and b2 will be replaced by r2, and here b1 will be replaced by r1, and k1 will be replaced by l1. So this diagram will help you to redraw this one, but it has to be in a nodal diagram. This is what I suggest. This is just a hint to remember. Okay, this completes our force voltage and force current analogy. Okay, one of the important, many times asked in the examination, and this is lengthy. There are shortcuts which are explained by many of the teachers, so you can follow that one also, but this gives you a basic idea how this diagrams or analogy can be done. Its base is the force equivalent to voltage and force equivalent to current. Okay. Next, we'll study about the thermal system. Here we are considering a problem on a thermal system. The problem states as follows. Consider a thermometer placed in a water bath having temperature θ1 as shown in the figure. So we are going to take a water bath. In that the water is having a temperature θa and the thermometer is dipped into the water bath, and the thermometer gives the scale reading, or the reading will be in the scale of a temperature, and that indication is given by notation θ0. So the water temperature θa will be transferring via through this thermometer bubble, and it will be raising the mercury level in the thermometer to an indicated temperature θ0. The thermometer bubble will be acting as a resistance for the heat flow from the water to the mercury, and the specific heat of the mercury will be acting as the capacitors. Let θ0 is the temperature indicated by the thermometer. The rate of heat flow into the thermometer through its wall, that is through the resistance wall, is given by θ divided is given by dq by dt equal to change in temperature, that is θi minus θ0 divided by R, where R is the thermal resistance of the thermometer wall. The indicated temperature or rise in a temperature in the thermometer is given by d θ0 divided by dt equal to 1 divided by C d cube divided by dt, where C is the thermal capacity of the thermometer. Therefore, substituting equation 1 in equation 2, so we get, so here dq by dt is substituted by θi minus θ0 divided by R. So we get d θ0 divided by dt equal to 1 divided by C θ0 minus θi minus θ0 divided by R. Taking Laplace transform for the above equation, we get S into θ0 of S equal to 1 divided by RC θi of S minus θ0 of S. The output is here θ0 of S, input is θi of S, that is output indicated temperature. θi is the inlet water temperature. So we get, after rearranging, 1 divided by 1 plus S into RC, where RC is the resistance and the thermal capacitance. So it is called as time constant, denoted by a letter capital T or tau. This is an important problem, many a times asked in the examination, to find the overall transfer function for the given thermal system. Next, a fluid level system. So here we'll discuss a problem on a fluid level system where the rate of flow of liquid into the tank need to be controlled, or a overall transfer function for a fluid in a controlling of a tank need to be written. So let's consider a simple liquid level system with a steady flow rate, and a steady state is shown in the given problem. So here we are having a fluid tank. So the rate of flow which is entering into this tank is Qi, and output from this one is Q0, and the pressure head in a fluid, usually the pressure in fluids are denoted by head of the fluid, and fluid which is flowing out of the tank is restricted through a valve, that will be the flow resistance, and the fluid which is stored in the tank is the capacitance. Let Q be the steady flow rate, that is Q bar, hence it is denoted by at the top by a cap or a bar. H is capital H is a steady state head. So for the steady flow rate we will be getting the steady head H, and using this valve we are going to have a small deviation Qi in the flow rate. Hence due to that one there will be an output flow rate Q0, that is small deviation of output flow rate. Due to this there will be small change in height, that is dH, and change in flow rate will be equal to small Qi minus Q0. Let C be the capacitance of the fluid and R be the resistance offered for the fluid to flow out. Then change in head dH by dt is directly proportional to Qi minus Q0. As we change the flow rate, the head also will be changing. To remove this proportionality, we bring the constant, that is C, capacitance constant, where Qi minus Q0 is equal to C into dH by dt, or it can be written as C dH by dt is equal to Qi minus Q0, where C is equal to change in liquid by change in head, and R is change in head divided by change in outflow rate. So change in head is here written as H, and change in outflow rate is Q0, hence R is equal to H divided by Q0. We can bring this in this form, that is Q0 is equal to H by R. So substituting equation 2 in equation 1, so Q0 substituting in equation 1, we get C dH by dt is equal to Qi minus H by R. Bringing this minus H term on the other side, we get C dH divided by dt plus H by R is equal to Qi. So taking R on the other side, we get R C dH by dt plus H is equal to Qi into R. Taking Laplace transform on both sides, we get RC S H of S plus H of S equal to Qi of S into R. Why? Because these are with respect to time dependent, so function of t. Here H of S is common, we take it, we get R C of S plus 1 equal to Qi of S into R. Hence rearranging the above term, what we get, H of S by Qi of S equal to R divided by S into RC plus 1, where RC is again a time constant written as tau. These two problems, thermal and fluid level system, are the important problems. Many a times asked in the examination as a 8 marks or a 6 marks problems. So we insist you to go through this problem. So until now what we have covered is, we have covered the modeling of a physical systems, mathematical, that is modeling of mechanical, electrical, thermal, hydraulic and pneumatic system. In this session we have covered the analogous system, that is direct and inverse analogous for mechanical and analogous for thermal and fluid system. So this completes your part A of module 2. So very important, fundamentals wise also and understanding of control system. Next we are going to study about the block diagram algebra and the signal flow graph. We have covered the modeling of a physical systems, mathematical, that is modeling of mechanical, electrical, thermal, hydraulic and pneumatic system. In this session we have covered the analogous system, that is direct and inverse analogous for mechanical and analogous for thermal and fluid system. So this completes your part A of module 2. So very important, fundamentals wise also and understanding of control system. Next we are going to study about the block diagram algebra and the signal flow graph. Thank you.